Hi again, fellow unlicensed thinkers. Today I want to start with a question of what is an hour worth? An hour of our time. What is that worth? Before we get into that, if you can make sure that you're subscribed and if you can reach that like button for me, I can't quite get it from here. Thank you. All right, so what is an hour worth? If you had 1 hour left to live, what would you do with that hour? Go ahead and think about that for a second. All kinds of things. You might contact loved ones. You might finish a project. I don't know, it seems weird, but maybe you do. I don't know. What would you do with that hour? Well, one thing I'm sure you would do is you would be as present as possible. You would be as there, as paying attention, as in that moment, as valuing every second of that hour as you possibly could. It would be the most valuable thing that you could ever imagine in your entire life would be that hour right there. You would listen to every word. You would contemplate everything that you could. You would see everything that you could. You'd pay attention to every detail of all of these last things that you were going to see in that last hour. You would feel every emotion that you possibly could. Love, anger, hate, whatever it is. You would feel absolutely everything. And you would relish in every feeling, positive or negative. They would all be valuable. They would all be experiences. So, when does an hour lose its value? When does an hour become not the most precious thing that you have in this whole world? When it's 2 hours? Well, you'd spend 2 hours probably doing the same thing as you would 1 hour if you had 2 hours left to live, right? Or maybe a month. Maybe an hour isn't very important when it's a month that you have left. Or maybe a year. Or maybe 10 years. When does that hour start to lose its value? Maybe when you hit 80 years? Well, what if you had a bank account, and in that bank account you had $700,000 or $700,800. I knew I could get that out. $700,800. And that's all you'll ever have in that bank account. You can't put more money in it. You can't earn more. All you can ever do is spend that money. And that money has to last you forever. That's it. That's all the money you're ever going to get. You would use some for fun, but what you would definitely do is you would always be conscious of the use of it. So you would always be saying, am I spending this in a way that is helpful to me, that is valuable to me, that is worthwhile to me? So you might choose to do something with a business. You might choose to play video games. You might choose to go for a walk in the park. You could choose any number of things to do with that money. And so each thing is going to cost you a little bit of money, whatever it might be. And so you would just be conscious of how am I spending this money? Well, that 700,800 is how many hours there are in 80 years. And that's it. It's about how long most of us live. That's all you get. You don't get more than that. You don't get to put more in. You might even get less than that. Somebody might hack in and drain that bank account and you got nothing left. We also call that getting hit by a bus. So that's all you have. So at what point do those dollars in that bank account, at what point do they become less valuable? At what point do they have no value? And so anything that numbs or dulls your senses, that removes your presence and your full cognition, that removes a part of you from that existence, is something that is shall we say, wasting that time, wasting that money in that bank account that you have. That's the most precious thing that you have, is that time, those hours that you have. You can't get more of them. When you're not present, you are telling your subconscious that hour is not valuable. If I'm not present in that hour, and again, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're alone doing something like walking on a beach, if you are in a crowd of people socializing, whatever it might be, that hour is valuable. But you're telling your subconscious when you numb yourself in some way. And yes, I am referring to drugs and alcohol and other such behaviors, shall we say, that numb you, that take you out of presence. Then you're telling your subconscious this hour is not valuable. And an hour is a piece of your life. So you're telling your subconscious that life is not valuable. And you are your life. So you're telling your subconscious that you are not valuable. And that is absolutely incorrect. You are very valuable. Your time is very valuable. That hour is very valuable. Every hour is very valuable. And we should be spending that time listening to every word, seeing everything as clearly as possible, feeling every emotion. And when we're numbed by something, we are not feeling those emotions. We are not listening. We are not engaging. We are not present. We are not seeing everything. We are dulled. We have said, this hour is not valuable to me. And is that really what you want to be telling your subconscious? Because remember, your subconscious, it is controlling many of your actions from the background. So when your subconscious hears, this human is not valuable, you stop treating yourself as valuable. You start doing things that further devalue yourself, telling your subconscious even more that you are not of value, that you are not worth things. And again, that's wrong. You are. Now, I find it very interesting in a disturbing sort of way that my not drinking and not doing drugs, which I've done plenty of in the past. Don't think I'm all high and mighty. I just presently am not doing them. But I find it interesting in this disturbing way that my not drinking, especially because alcohol is so just ingrained in society, is a notable characteristic. People will say, "Oh, you mean the guy who doesn't drink?" As if that is such a rarity and an oddity for someone to be present in their life and not trying to devalue or escape or run away from that precious gift of those hours that we have. So that means when it's an oddity that most people are throwing away that gift. They're throwing away that time. They're devaluing themselves. And it's seen as normal to lessen the value of you. And even normal to encourage others to lessen their value, which has further subconscious effects because now we're saying other lives don't matter. So when I say, hey, have another glass of wine with me, have a shot with me, let's smoke some weed, whatever. What I'm saying is that we are together normalizing this wasting and devaluing of our time. And you might say it's fun. Okay, I'm not going to argue that. But really, that gets into some of the other videos that I've done on this topic or similar topics where, why is it fun? Why is it fun to escape your life? Why is it fun to not be present for this hour of your life, these hours of your life that you can't get more of? That's it. That's all you have is these hours. You're not gifted more. You can't earn more. You get this many, and that's it. You're done. And so, again, I go back to What is an hour worth? At what point does an hour become not valuable? At what point do you say, oh, I can just throw this money away? How much of that bank account of $700,800 is just garbage to you? How much of it would you just wad up and burn or throw away? How much is of no value? At what point does it become valuable? When you've only got a few left? Or is it still just as valuable? Is one of those dollars in that bank account just as valuable when it's over 700,000 as it is when it's 50 or when it's 1? No, those dollars are still worth exactly the same and should be respected just the same, because that is your life. That is respecting your life. That is respecting who you are. That is respecting what you are. So remember your value. Remember that each one of those hours that you get is the most precious thing. It is part of this thing that you call your eternity. And do you want to throw away your eternity? Do you not want to be present for your eternity? You don't get more. That sounds very, very, very somber. I'm sorry. Usually I try to laugh a bit more in the videos, but it does mean a lot to me. It really does, because I wasted a lot of my time with just kind of effing around, and a good 10 years of my life, I was drunk or high or something, and I don't recommend it. I've been there. It doesn't do anything for you. Being present does things for you. I spent a long time drinking lightly or occasionally. Still, it doesn't do it for me. Because I started valuing my time, I started saying, you know what? I'm worth every second. I want to be present for every second. I don't want to go to my grave saying, God, what did I miss? Or how much did I miss? I mean, I'm already going to say that a little bit, but the less I can say that, the better, right? So the best time to start is 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So I'm not coming at this at a point of high and mighty or anything like that. I'm saying that I've been there. I understand that way of thinking. And I also understand that it is not helpful. And it just devalues yourself. So you do more and more things that devalue yourself. You say, well, your subconscious says, if I'm not worth this, then I must not be worth that, and I must not be very valuable, so I don't deserve these good things, and blah, blah, blah. And then you end up down in this hole, and you're like, hey, how did I get here? I was just having some wine. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Be sure to hit the like button, and if you could please share the video, that would absolutely help my channel out. Have a great